we always ask our guests. Do you want to ask it?
Yes. If you could go back and talk with your 20-year-old self, what would you tell them?
I should have been prepared for that because I watched some of these, and
I had to remind myself because that. Yeah, go ahead.
So I would say you're better than what you think you are.
Yeah.
That's good.
You know, because everybody at that age, it's like Allie and I are working with kids, you know, all the time, and mentoring and that kind of thing. And it's like, you know, something that happens to you as a child, when you're an adult, you're like, well, that's nothing. But when you're the child, it's like,
Oh, sure.
you know, puppy love. It's real to the puppy, you know.
Right.
So,
Right.
Right.
so it's like I would, if I could go back, I'd say you're better than what you think you are.
Right.
You know, it's like not in an arrogant way, but just, you know, it's like, oh, you know,
Right.
because those things that beat you down, they're lies.
Sure.
You know, I come from a faith perspective, so I would say it's a lie from the enemy,
Hmm.
you know, trying to continually stop you from being all you can be.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you do gain that as you get older too. Is
Oh.
that you're way better than you think you are, and that
Yeah.
to your earlier point about things not really mattering, and there's so many things that you focus on that you know 5 years removed, you're like,
Ugh.
it doesn't really matter.
It-
I wasted so much mental energy on that,
Correct.
and it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah. I had a fellow say it to me much later in life, Leslie Newbin, famous missiologist. Um, don't overestimate your enemies.
Right. That's true.
That's the other way around.
Right.
It's like, you know, be your best and don't overestimate your enemies. And most of the time that comes from inside your own head.
Sure.
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
self-limiting kind
Yeah,
of.
you're
I'll
self-destruction.
give an example that my poor wife, she's heard me say this a couple times, I'm sure, but like I'm at I was flown into this conference to be a part of it. And, you know, you flew into Washington, and they took me on the private jet up to this ranch, and I'm with these world leaders, and I go, the guy that was leading us was an incredible gentleman, and we're had a break, and he's at the bar serving everybody, and he goes, "What would you like, Dr. Foust?" And I said, "I love that wine over there, but it's not open, so I'll just have this one here." He had a bottle in his hand at a time. He put the bottle down. And he goes, "Don't ever let anything like that come out of your mouth again. You don't believe you're worth that bottle of wine."
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, there's a huge difference between arrogance and confidence. And finding that balance is where you want to be. You know?
Sure.
Don't be arrogant, but man, be confident. You know? And it's not arrogance if you can prove it and do it, you know.
Yeah, I ain't bragging if you can do it.
It ain't
That's
bragging.
right.
That's
You
true.
know? So that's what I would say to that 20-year-old.
Yeah, that's good. And
That's
success
pretty
breeds
powerful. That's
success
pretty
breeds
awesome.
confidence too. I think the more you do
It
things, the
does.
more the more things are old. You know, you go, I can do that because I've done it before. You know, past this prologue.
Then you
so.
got to get past like, don't be lazy.
Yeah.
Don't do what you did in the past. You know, come up with some new stuff.
Sure.
To get to enrich it, keep enriching it. That's hard. It gets
Yeah.
harder, you know.
That's what makes
yeah.
life fun though.
Well, that's what we do and one of the things we go through with leadership is the Craig Rochelle Leadership Podcast, and one of the things that he preaches is that success is a killer of future success. Do you know what I mean? Because it can
Yes.
make you complacent or
Correct.
lazy or whatnot. So
Well, I mean that chase, and I think going back to that, you get people that are professional athletes, and they've got all or bands, bands that were just their first
Yeah.
album was just amazing, and then the rest they stink because now they're all rich and the struggle's gone.
Correct.
The struggle kind of is what
Yeah.
hones that
Isn't
product.
that the truth?
You know, and once you've gotten that brass ring, I totally can see how people are like, I've made it. My motivator's gone.
My motivator's gone.
You know, I mean, what do you do now? And I think that's probably an age old from the beginning of time. That story, Well, I won't go into the story. But
I was gonna say you just
I won't talk about
put
it.
more in my head too, but no, that's good. Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you so much for coming in today and spending time with us. I really enjoy it.
I'm so pleased to be
always.
here.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming.
Appreciate your friendship and
Absolutely.
colleague with my wife and good
Absolutely.
stuff. And love the clinic and the people here, man. Good stuff. You built something great.
Well, thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much
That
for
means a
that.
lot.
Yeah.
Well, you can catch us every Monday, somewhere around 10:30 or 11, and on any of the podcast channels. So I'm Emily King.
I'm Richie King.
Dr. Tom Foust.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time on Five Boys in a Business.
We're out.